We knew the globalists planned to kill 80% of us in all their big statements, 80 to 90%. We knew this was the dominant push. But it's always worse than we think. Basically, folks, they're coming to kill us. God help us. It's just, they're so evil, ladies and gentlemen. But I think it's the perfect ideology of killers, because they can kill whoever they want, just go, oh, there's too many of us anyways, life's cheap. See, to them, life isn't just cheap. Life is bad. Human life is bad. A cockroach has more value than we do, as Dr. Peter Singer said. This is real. It's up to you in the defense of humanity for our species itself, not just our children. These control freaks are drunk with power. They just continue to get away with things generation after generation. They're criminally insane, and they must be resisted. Don't say you weren't warned. And I'm telling everybody out there, I pledge to fight these people, and I want you to pledge with me to fight them. We need to stand together against this New World Order, and I'm begging other radio talk show hosts to go do your own research and to come to the realization that we're telling you the truth. And I'm sure you'll find stuff that we haven't found. It's always worse. I'm begging you, okay? Go and research this and make this a serious issue, because this is really the key. You know, everybody says they want to kill us, population reduction. Man, they really do. I want that to burn into your brains real good. This isn't a joke. Frankly, I got a dangerous job, and I'm more than happy to face down serious consequences to warn you, because that's normal, folks. This is serious. And I don't need people to call them, support me or whatever, oh, let me come help you. You need to go be your own leaders. You need to go research this. You need to expose these people. Aaron, just reading Bertrand Russell, Nobel Prize winner, one of their top planners, it's the same thing I saw in a UN report from the 60s, but this is written earlier, about human sacrifice being good. Tell folks about that.
Yeah, this chapter, Scientific Technique and Oligarchy, it's really worth a read. It's an education in cold, objective.
Oh, read? I could watch that new Galaxy player's good-looking wife. Why should I even care, you know?
I don't know. It's something else. It's all about how scientific dictatorship is completely inevitable. They're going to be able to control us psychologically and physiologically, what we think and do. And it's all about how through education, you heard this quote the other day, through education we'll be able to control everything. Diet injections and injunctions will combine from an early age to produce the sort of character and beliefs authorities consider desirable.
He also says if a youth rebels, they'll just kill him. Where's the quote about the Aztecs, human sacrifice, you were reading to me earlier?
Yeah, that's actually after the other quote we read last week, that gradually, by selective breeding, the congenital differences between rulers and ruled will increase until they become almost different species. A revolt of the plebes would be almost as unthinkable as an organized insurrection of sheep.
We got 30 seconds. Read the part about Aztecs.
And then the next sentence is the Aztecs kept a domesticated alien tribe for purposes of cannibalism as an example. Their regime was totalitarian. And he goes on to talk about how the laboring class will have to work so long and have so little to eat they'll have nothing else to think about. The upper class will become so hardened that they'll have the mentality of ascetics. They'll care only for power and will not shrink from cruelty, and the family will be abolished.
Well, I want the New World Order to know something. And thank you, Aaron. I want the New World Order to know something. You can kill us individually, but you cannot kill our spirit. And we're going to defeat you. And you're going to pay.
We know that Bill Gates has donated these billions and billions and billions for population control in Africa. And that's pretty out in the open, but it's seen as a good thing. But if you just look slightly beyond the surface, we're just wiping out the third world. It's absolutely an abomination.
These people are cold-blooded, man. They need to be arrested right now.
If you somehow don't care about the third world, maybe we want to talk about China, where Bill Gates donates other billions and billions into the United Nations Population Fund, which then goes on to fund IBM computer programs that control populations as they planned in
IBM's behind the chips, they're behind the smart cards, they're behind the genome, and sure enough, they're behind eugenics operations in China donating the computers.
Yep, just as the 1928 Jamaican race study plan that IBM funded and used their first early computers to process, just as IBM used their computers to process concentration camps, select out victims, see who would be healthy enough, see who needed to be exterminated right away. IBM also runs the population program that monitors China's plans to, enforce a one-child policy, and, well, you get the picture, I think.
We're in a lot of trouble. We're in deep trouble. Folks, I'm more freaked out than I was even before, because they literally run the entire infrastructure. We randomly check high-level officials, and they always are eugenicists. I mean, it is, and you'll find in their charitable giving, it could be a Secretary of State, it could be Hillary Clinton, it could be anybody. I'm talking 95% of the time, this is their religion. And it's their rationale to kill people. It's their rationale to do whatever evil they want. And they are just, literally, IBM keeps showing up as the literal fulcrum. I mean, I've been saying this for 4 or 5 years, IBM, or longer. But now, I mean, it's just, in my hypothesis, Aaron, data doesn't disprove it. It just keeps adding to it worse than I thought. And I mean, they're arrogant, folks. People say, well, why don't they kill you? Well, I mean, they might on this subject. We've actually been getting some threats, and a lot of stuff's been happening lately. They're really upset right now. And I'm not going to shut up, and I can't stop. And so that's just the end of it. And I noticed you got here bright and early this morning. I'm just guessing. I bet this has really energized you, Aaron. When you find out, man, hardcore killers are in control. And I mean, they're not playing games.
Bill Gates not only donates to Planned Parenthood, but his father is on the board. He's been part of Planned Parenthood for years and years and years.
Bill Gates is far more wicked than we even thought. And I've done quite a bit of research on him. I knew he was a big eugenicist supporter. You can change the names all day. That's what it is. And I knew that he'd given and collected now over $67 billion for it. And the sick joke here is, you watch CNN or you read a news article and it's, oh, Bill and Melinda, they are, and the Marxist websites, they actually have the Marxist website worshiping him, and the liberals, oh, he's so good, give all your money away. And I knew that Bill Gates had given more than $30 billion total to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation since the mid-'90s to Planned Parenthood, and then overseas really aggressive eugenics organizations and enforced inoculations, you name it. I mean, just really aggressive stuff in third world countries. And I was doing more research, and then, of course, Warren Buffett gave him $37 billion. That was just in one pledge. This chilled me to my bones to learn that he wasn't just funding eugenics. It was the fact that his daddy was the head of Planned Parenthood, changed his name twice, was involved in all sorts of shadowy intelligence operations. And then what I'd already known from sources in industry and little pieces I got in news and PBS where they leaked it, IBM, another front company. I can clearly say from our research that Microsoft is another, I knew they were allied, but it is another IBM front company to get around trust busting. And that literally the profits from these companies go to bring in the one world government. And it is, which again gives them even more power through governmental control.
And this is the impact of science on society. If you heard the quote last week about how
we're a bunch of sheep that can't resist. And
as selective breeding goes on, it'll be impossible to revolt because we'll basically be sheep. And that comes from an entire lecture he gave on the scientific technique in an oligarchy. And I don't have time to read it. I wish I could read literally every sentence. But basically, it's a continuation of what Huxley was talking about.
We'll just show folks the chapter head. The chapter head says that. Just show it to them, because they'll say it doesn't exist and everything else. You understand, folks, this is all they do. Everything they're building is so they can do this to you. Okay, they want to kill us. By the way, folks, a lot of white people say, okay, well, let's kill the brown people. Folks, they want to kill you too. Or they want to keep a few of us around. But by the way, eugenics, they brag, is only on the front do they want to increase everybody. That's not true. They want to dumb everybody else down. They want to kill blacks, kill most of the Asians except for the Japanese. They're going to deal with them where they get to live. I mean, this is sick. The Japanese get to live, a few of them, because they say they're, smart enough to join. It's just totally sick. And they've got Israel's in on it. They love hearing about being the elite too. If they buy into that whole idea, it's perfect with Zionism. You got Nazis, weirdo Japanese, and Zionists all working as a team, and we're just totally screwed. I mean, I don't know how else to say it.
And it's all out of control in this new century. It's all the science. Bertrand Russell and Huxley all write about how now with the advances in science, scientific dictatorship is a reality, basically. It's inevitable.
And now Dick Cheney says we need to legitimize the use of race-specific bioweapons as a politically useful tool.
The systems of control are out of control. I mean,
basically, folks, They're coming to kill us.